Good evening. Good evening. Come on in. You got your tea. You know what I'm having today, right? So get your tea. Come on in. Come on in. Share it with someone. Yeah. Click like and share it with someone. I hope you all have had a wonderful day, an amazing day. So let's get started. We're going to go back to, we're going to continue with boundaries, walls, fences with gates, or nothing at all. And tonight we're going to talk about nothing at all. What does that look like? But Son, who I affectionately call Son, David Burris of Activate Nation, he put a quote out that caught my attention early. And I decided that that's going to be our quote for tonight. Son posted, just a reminder, you deserve what you have been praying for. Settling before you have received it devalues your destiny. And he says, let's not do that. That's David Burris with Activate Nation. Let's do it one more time. He says, it's just a reminder. You deserve what you have been praying for. Settling is before you have received it. Devalues your destiny. And he says, let's not do that. So, just in case there's some persons that are here tonight that wasn't here Tuesday, I need you on your piece of paper so that you can always have it in your face. Down the side of your paper, put these letters. You're going to spell boundary. Boundary. Got it? Now we're going to fill it in. The B is be aware. The O is of what is. The U, unacceptable, and the N, normalizing, saying no. D, do what is best for you. A, and know that it is not your or responsibility to sacrifice. Why? Yourself for others. So, be aware of what is unacceptable and normalize saying no. Do what is best for and know that it is not your responsibility to sacrifice yourself for others. You ready? You remember on Tuesday, we talked about property. Your house on property. Did it have walls around the boundary? Did it, around the periphery? Did it have fences with gates? Or did it have nothing at all? So we're going to talk about, discuss your property, which is you, with no fence, which is boundaries. If your property had no fence, it is a whole different situation. Setting boundaries is not a negative, but the lack of boundaries can create significant issues. Boundaries keep you from being absorbed and abandoning your individual sense of self. Can I say it one more time? Boundaries keep you from being absorbed and abandoning your individual sense of self. Setting boundaries, one, keeps you out of toxic relationships and or situationships. Two, boundaries say, I know my value. I know who I am. And three, the life book, the Bible, speaks on boundaries. At your leisure, turn to Proverbs 25, 4 through 5, and John 2, verse 24. When there is no fence, when there's no fence, there is little or no control over who or what enters your property or house. Little or no control over who or what enters your property. You tend to make bad choices about your property, allowing anyone in, and you are constantly trampled as people walk in and out of your property with very little power to control this when you have no fence, no boundaries. When you are unable to set boundaries, it can cause you to take on more responsibilities that are not yours. Remember what we said back over here, boundaries, right? It says, and know that it is not your responsibility to sacrifice yourself for others. That's what it's saying. When you are unable to set boundaries, it can cause you to take on more responsibilities that are not yours, which can take a toll on your physical, mental health, as well as your psychological health. Let that marinate. How have you been feeling maneuvering, navigating with no boundaries? It's a rhetorical question. Journal about it. There are signs of poor boundaries. There are signs of poor boundaries. So let's talk about them. The inability to make decisions. The inability to make decisions. You may feel torn and overextending yourself, or doing what other people want and what you really want to do. What other people want and what you really want to do. People pleasing. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we talked about when we decided to start dating. So just a transparent moment. When we started to think about we were ready to date, we were people pleasers. We were fixers. Talking about me. We were fixers. We were giving, and we had to pull it back. We had to pull it back. You will have to pull it back. No boundaries. Those three were me. People pleasing is exactly what it sounds like. Giving in to what other people want and denying your own self-interest. Could that be you? Excessive fatigue. You are taking on everyone else's stuff, needs, schedules, whatever, to the point that you're not taking care of yourself. You don't have to say anything. Just pencil them down, and if you don't get them all down, do a replay so you can see, could this be you? Could this be you? Endless guilt about small things. Endless guilt about small things. If I do this, he or she. And I want to make sure I say that this is not gender specific. This is for men and women who have no boundaries, who have no fences with gates. They don't even have a wall. Endless guilt about small things. If I do this, he or she might see me differently, consequently may love me more, and whatever desired end could come to fruition, when in reality that person just keeps taking, and you exhaust yourself, all for naught. Lost sense of self. Lost sense of self. Absorbing roles in other people's lives, and sometimes absorbing other people's lives, other roles and other people's lives. Their bad day becomes your bad day. Their losses become your losses. You no longer know who you are. Lost sense of self. Poor boundaries. Oversharing. Sharing should be done over time and predicated on trust. Sharing should be done over time and predicated on trust. Oversharing could cause misuse of the information you have divulged. Let me say it again. Oversharing. Sharing should be done over time and predicated on trust. So you're just starting to date, your first date, you tell that person your whole life history. You know nothing about him or nothing about her. And what does it say? It could cause misuse of the information. Poor boundaries. Resentment, frustration, annoyed. Because of your lack of or poor boundaries, you find yourself overextending, and the other person is not, because why? They have better boundaries than you do. Why? Or they are taking advantage of your lack and benefiting from it. Never, ever reciprocity. Never reciprocity. Fear of rejection or abandonment. Fear of rejection or abandonment. If I do this, then. The absence of boundaries could be giving you a sense of control. Consequently, you continue to overextend yourself. You know what time it is, right? You know what time it is. Is it close to you? The life book. Let's get it. The Bible, the life book. You got it? You ready? Need you to go to Job 38, 1 through 11. And I am going to be reading from the Message Bible. You know how I tell you sometimes the Message Bible is just pow, in your face. This is in your face. Okay, you ready? And it reads, "And now, finally, God answered Job from the eye of a violent storm. He said, 'Why do you confuse the issues? Why do you talk without knowing what you're talking about? Pull yourself together, Job. Up on your feet. Stand tall. I have some questions for you, and I want some straight answers. Where were you when I created the earth? Where were you when I created the earth?'" Can you hear it? He's feeling some kind of way. Can you hear it? Mm-hmm. He says, "Tell me, since you know so much." That's a little bit indignant, isn't it? "Since you know so much, who decided on its size?" The earth size. Who decided? Certainly you'll know that. Who came up with the blueprints and measurements? And how was its foundation poured? And who set the cornerstones while morning stars sang in choirs and all the angels shouted praise? And who took charge of the ocean when it gushed forth like a baby from the womb? It was me. That's what the Father said. That was me. I wrapped it in soft clouds and tucked it safely at night. Then I made a playpen for it, a strong playpen, so it couldn't run loose, and said, "Stay here. This is your place. Your wild tantrums are confined to this place." Do you think the Father was setting boundaries? He said, this is what he said, "And who took charge of the ocean, who gushed forth like a baby from the womb? That was me. I wrapped it in soft clouds and tucked it in safely at night. Then I made a playpen for it, a strong playpen, so it couldn't run loose, and said, 'Stay here. This is your place. Your wild tantrums are confined to this place.'" He had a boundary for the ocean, didn't he? His boundary was a fence with a gate. It wasn't a wall, because we could still see it. Ebb and flow, right? Ebb and flow, we could see it. But he set a boundary and he spoke to it. And he normalized. No, you will stay right here. You will be confined to this place. And he did not mix words. So, if the Father can set boundaries, what's your excuse? He showed you what it looks like of saying, no, that's not going to happen. I created all of this. He's saying he created your property. This I have given you dominion over. And I made you wonderfully, right? And you just allow someone to come in and out, in and out. Marking up the carpet, tearing down the wallpaper, turning over lamps and lights. You allowed someone to come onto your property that the Father created. No boundaries. That's what it looks like. I want to say thank you all for taking a moment to sit with me tonight for You, Me, and Tea with Lady D. We have one more night. We're going to talk about what it looks like when you have your property has a fence with a gate. And we'll discuss that on Tuesday at 5:30 Pacific Time, 7:30 Central Time, and 8:30 Eastern Time. Again, for You, Me, and Tea with Lady D. Thank you, and I hope you all have an amazing night. Until Tuesday, good night.